Yo, what is good, everybody on YouTube? This is your boy Akil McLeod back with another live video, and today I'm going to be answering you guys questions. I pulled a bunch of questions from previous videos that I put out, and sometimes I get some really good questions in the comment section, and sometimes those type of questions might need like a long form answer, so I might need to expound on it a little bit longer. So I'm going to answer some of those questions today. I pulled about maybe 5 or 6. So hopefully you guys, once more people start to join in, we can start to just start answering some more of you guys' questions. So as you guys are continuing to come in, drop some questions and try to get to those as soon as possible. And so far, I'm not seeing anybody in the chat as of right now. But I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, wait till see some more people that joins in. From this point on, I'm going to try to stick to doing these live shows every Thursday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And that's just going to be a time to engage with you guys, answer some of the questions you guys may have, whether it's entrepreneurial based, reseller based, just trying to really engage and just try to, answer as many questions as possible. Just try to be as helpful as possible for you guys. So we got some more people in the chat now. We got Derek in here. We got Right Dreamer. What's going on, y'all? I hope everybody is doing well and staying safe. So like I said, I pre-selected a couple questions that I had from previous videos, and I think some of these questions might be able to either lead us down a different path and answering some other questions along the way. But first thing that I did want to talk about, I got this one question from Dove Darby Posh, and this was actually on the video I posted today. So she says, thanks for sharing when your live vids will be. Got questions about eBay managed payments. Any help would be appreciated. Now, when it comes to the eBay managed payments, this is something that I was really looking forward to. Not so much in the very beginning, because I know anytime companies or any business, or especially when it's technology based, usually the first like run through will be a ton of problems, and we're basically just going to be guinea pigs for the program. So I didn't want to sign up for eBay managed payments as soon as they started opening up the program, because when it comes down to the money, you never want to put your money in jeopardy. You don't want to have to wait a long amount of time to just get access to your funds. As we all know, that's super important. So I didn't want to join that initial like focus group that they had, but I did hear just some good. I heard some good, I heard some bad. Some of the good is just the simple fact that they no longer had to pay eBay PayPal fees, which is always a really good thing. But at the same time, I'm one of those people that I love the global shipping program. I know it doesn't necessarily benefit the buyer as much. However, it really does help sellers. And just for us, it helps us basically save some money on shipping, because international shipping fees can be really expensive, but it just makes the process really simple. Shipping internationally with the global shipping program is basically the same thing as shipping domestically. So I really do like it. But one of the big problems that I kept hearing about is the fact that, at least in the very beginning, eBay managed payments weren't able to handle international orders via the global shipping program. And for me, I'm not going to say I do a ton of international orders, maybe 10 to 15 a month, but that's still a significant amount of sales, at least for me. Sometimes I might sell something that's $100+ and it's going international. So I didn't want to lose out on some of those opportunities, so I didn't sign up. However, now I'm definitely looking forward to it, because I think they kind of worked out some of those kinks. And I do think that with eBay managed payments, we'll be able to save some of those fees. And not only that, but I heard also that they'll be taking out the fees. They'll be processing the eBay fees immediately, instead of us having to pay a huge lump sum at the end of the month. So I'm definitely looking forward to some of those changes. And I think it's about time. You know what I mean? I think all of us know eBay is a very antiquated system. They got a lot of things they got to work on. And I think this is probably some progress moving in the right direction. So I'm happy about that. Let's see. Have you made more? Let's see who's in here. We got a few people in here. Anybody talking about global shipping program? The global shipping program will be a part of eBay managed payments now. Yep. Definitely looking forward to that. It says, I saw a court case on People's Court where a guy was suing over an eBay transaction that went awry. Wow, People's Court. I don't even watch that show, but I think some of the stuff on People's Court is real. Some of it might be a little, a little fluffed up for TV. But usually anything going through like those TV court shows is usually like $1,000 or less. You can't do too too big of transactions. Let's see. Have you made more profit on thrift store hauls or retail arbitrage? This is a good question. This is from Derek Douglas. For me, honestly, I'm not gonna say it's exactly the same. I feel like I enjoy doing the retail a little more, especially since the thrift stores out here are a lot cheaper. No, the thrift stores out here are a lot more expensive. In Santa Barbara, the thrift stores are really cheap. We got some really good brands. Since we moved out here, it's been tough. The thrifts are not something that I can find myself doing full time. That's why I don't even do that many trips to the thrifts, because I still go to thrift stores, but it's very hit or miss. Sometimes I might leave with 2 or 3 things. Some days I might leave with nothing. Before I would always leave with at least, a handful of stuff that I can flip for some good profit. Nowadays, we're not really getting that type of luck. So it is what it is. For me, it just showed me that, pivoting is necessary in business. I realized that for years I was flourishing with just thrift stores. And then as soon as we moved to Arizona from California, had to switch it up. And the retail arbitrage is just way better out here than compared to California, because we had Ross out there, we had Burlington, we had Marshalls, but all of those type of stores, it was just trash. We could never find anything good. So it was better off for me to go with the thrifts. And now it's the complete opposite. So it is what it is. We got a Jersey all day, $10 super chat. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate that. That's huge. Thank you very much. Let's keep it moving over here. We see some more. Also heard they will be fixing the issue where people don't pay right away on auctions and offers because eBay is managing the payments. No third party to worry about. Yes, that's probably one of the biggest things I'm most excited about. Now, I told you guys in a previous video where I was saying I made a sale and the person didn't pay for the shoes yet, and it was a pair of Hyper Dunks. I had them listed for I think $50. I got a best offer of $35 plus $13 shipping. So I said, let's go ahead and do that. And I accepted the offer. And just to give you guys a quick update, that buyer never paid. So I just ended up canceling the order. But it's tough because that's the reason why I stopped accepting offers on items. A lot of times everything in my closet, everything in my eBay store was with just offers. But since I switched models and I started doing more retail arbitrage, the reason why I had to stand firm on a lot of my prices was mainly to avoid that from happening, because I was just tired of people not paying. But once you invest more money, like it's no longer $2 and $3 profit. It's no longer $2 and $3 items that I'm trying to flip for 20 and 30 bucks. I'm spending sometimes 20, 30, 50 bucks on a pair of shoes. And I need to get a certain price point, a certain amount of profit margin back. So it wasn't even a need to accept offers. So with that being said, making that switch really helped the business a lot. And it helped me avoid having to deal with, the back and forth, getting an offer, seeing a notification on my phone, and I'm getting super excited, but it's just a lowball offer. So with all that being said, I'm most excited with the fact of no longer having to deal with third party fees, and just no longer having to deal with somebody basically paying whenever they want. You know what I mean? Sometimes I've had people that waited till the 3rd day, sometimes even the 4th day they paid. But for me, it's not like you can go to Walmart and pay 4 days later and leave with the item. To me, it doesn't make sense. So I'm definitely excited about that. Let's see. I just started selling on eBay and I keep getting scammers wanting to text or email. How can a newer seller get past the scammers phase? I'm about to give up on eBay. Is it worth sticking with it? So it's definitely worth sticking with it. As you guys can see from some of the daily videos I'm putting out, eBay for me is my biggest platform. It's my favorite platform to sell on. I know I made a ton of videos on Poshmark, but at least for me, Poshmark, the whole Poshmark wave is kind of dying down. I'm not seeing consistent sales as I used to. I think Poshmark really was big at one point, and it was really a good entryway for people to start reselling. But now the game just kind of changed, and people kind of going back to eBay. So with that being said, I think you should probably just try to focus on getting some more feedback. Probably try to purchase items that you would usually use or that you would probably buy from locally. So say you buy some toothpaste or a toothbrush just to get some feedback. That way you won't be a target, you know what I mean? Because once you're brand new to eBay, when they start seeing sellers with 2 or 3 feedback scores on next to their name, those are usually the people that a lot of these scammers are prowling on. So just to kind of get rid of that and try to avoid that, I would say just try to build up your feedback as fast as possible, and just try to make some sales. You know what I mean? Even if you're just making a small amount of profit, just try to make sales. That way you can build up a successful track record, and that way you will avoid some of those scam emails. Because at this point, I don't think I've ever got a scam email or a scam message from anybody on eBay. I get a lot of those on Poshmark, but I don't get those on eBay. And I think that's because they're prowling on new sellers. So that would be the best advice I would have. Next, we see this is what happened on People's Court case that I saw. Let me see. Oh, basically the person didn't pay. Okay, I get it. So yeah, so just so like I said, with that being said, it's just one of those things where we do have some more. Oh, my bad. We do have some more questions. I didn't even see all of these. What about Mercari? So I'm actually going to be getting on Mercari really soon. Like I said, Poshmark isn't the way for me anymore. I'm not going to say I'm going to get off of Poshmark. I'll probably keep my listings up and try to sell out all of my items listed on Poshmark, but I'm not feeling as enthusiastic about Poshmark as I used to. So I'm probably just gonna shift a lot of my listings over to eBay. Over to Mercari. I still want to list on 2 different platforms because I see the benefit of listing on multiple platforms, especially nowadays where the competition is so heavy. But at the same time, like I said, Poshmark just isn't it for me. So for Mercari, I'll probably be on there soon, and I'll probably do a video talking about me just transitioning over to Mercari. So be on the lookout for more Mercari related videos and stuff like that. I even got an email, maybe it was a month or 2 months ago at this point, where one of the people from Mercari was reaching out, and they was like recruiting people. It seemed like they was just recruiting people either from YouTube, or they probably got my email address off of eBay. Who knows? But they were definitely recruiting people at saying, sign up with Mercari. These are the benefits. Here's our fee structure, and you could easily just cross list your items from eBay to Mercari. Now, I don't know how they're able to do that. I don't know what system they had in place, and I never even responded to the email. But like I said, it's always been on my mind, and for the simple fact that they have that option where you can easily cross list, I think it's a no-brainer at this point. So I'm definitely going to try it out, and I'll keep you guys updated on how it's looking. Let's see. I experienced the scammers as on eBay as well. Wanted me to add the purchase of an eBay card for $200. Yeah, the thing with these scammers on eBay is like I said, they prowl on newer sellers, but at the same time they hope that they're talking to an idiot. You know what I mean? They hope that they're sending somebody that's desperate, and they're hoping that one message that I seen often was somebody saying that anytime they listed something on eBay, they would get a message, and the person was willing to spend an extra $50 or $60 more than they were asking for. And I think they just, like I said, they're prowling on new sellers. They're prowling on somebody that might be desperate, wanting to see a quick flip, and stuff like that. To me, is always a red flag. So you just got to be smart when it comes to reselling. Okay, Daniel Desimone, what is your daily sourcing schedule like? Do you have certain days dedicated to certain stores? That's a really good question. So when it comes to me sourcing, prior to the whole quarantine and lockdown and everything like that, I used to go sourcing just about every day. I used to hit up the same thrift stores just about every day because I know they was bringing in new stuff every day. I have several Rosses right near me, so I would always hit them up at least 4 times a week just because I wanted to be there when they bring out the new shoes. As of right now, I'm not sourcing daily like I used to, because even the thrift stores, at least the ones that I go to, they don't restock as often as they used to. I guess donations just aren't as big. And Ross, Marshalls, Burlington, as we all know, they just opened back up, so they're not restocking shelves as often. I went a couple days ago to Ross, and I seen that they were just putting out like Levi shoes and a lot of the cheap stuff that we usually pass on anyway, like Nautica sneakers, all those type of stuff that nobody really cares about. They were restocking the shelves with those stuff. But when it comes to like the Air Max 720s, the 98s, the stuff that we really want, I haven't seen them starting to restock those yet. So I think when the new trucks start rolling in, probably within the next couple weeks, I'll start doing more trips to Ross, trips to Burlington, and just trying to update you guys with what's coming out. But as of right now, I don't source as often. That's why I was able to just dedicate more time to YouTube and put out some more consistent content. But even when the stores open back up to the point where they're like regular again, I'm going to still try to be consistent with YouTube because I'm just enjoying it now more than before. Let's see. We got a lot of questions. Let me get to y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Alex Delgado. I accepted someone's offer, and when they didn't pay, I sent a message and they responded with the BK, with the money, I'm guessing. I accepted someone's offer, and when they didn't pay, I sent a message. I mean, it happens sometimes when I don't know what the BK means, but usually when you do send a message to somebody that didn't pay, usually they do pay. Sometimes for me, it's like 60-70% they pay. Once I send them like a payment reminder, they usually do pay. Pasha's good. You just need a VA to share your closet for you. Now, when it comes to getting a VA, I'm not going to say I'm against that, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like sharing the closet 2 or 3 times a day, I was seeing a lot of progress with that. I think maybe sharing it 6 or 7 or 8 times a day will make even more sales. But I also think when it comes to Poshmark too, you gotta have really quality items. And not to say that my items aren't quality, but at the same time, it's one of those things where if you have items people want, you don't necessarily have to share your closet, 10 times a day, because people are actually searching for the items that you're selling. So I see both sides of like getting a VA and having somebody that can share your closet more often. I just don't necessarily feel like my closet is big enough to hire somebody to do something like that. And, that's just how I'm looking at it. But for those that have huge closets, 1,000+ items, it makes perfect sense because sharing a 1,000+ item closet will take forever. Right now, I have a ton of sales on Poshmark, but my overall closet size is probably like less than 200 active listings. So it takes me anywhere between like 10, maybe 12 minutes to share my whole closet. So for me, I just don't see the value in, getting somebody on board. It says Mercari is slow and antiquated. Sound like eBay to me. Kim H, great info. Thank you very much. S. Franks, Poshmark seller update now includes toys and many other items. See, that's the thing. I haven't even been trying to keep up with the Poshmark updates. I already knew it was only a matter of time until they like unloaded everything, because clearly clothing is a very what's the word I'm looking for? It's just a very crowded space. You can get used clothing just about anywhere for pennies on the dollar. So I knew they was going to eventually branch out into different categories. It's good to see that Poshmark is growing. My thing with Poshmark is that when Poshmark was doing really well, I was seeing a ton of ads, specifically on YouTube, because I'm on YouTube a lot, and I was seeing a ton of ads on YouTube. And even on TV as well. They had a lot of good marketing. They were giving out a lot of coupons to new buyers and sellers. So it was like they had a marketing push. That same push I'm starting to see on eBay. I'm starting to see with Mercari. I'm starting to see a lot more commercials on Mercari, on YouTube. I don't watch TV, but like I said, I'm seeing a lot more marketing based on YouTube now. So I don't know if Poshmark, their marketing budget is pretty dried up. I don't know if they're switching models. Who knows? But that's my gripe with Poshmark. I feel like when Poshmark was doing its best, they was constantly in your face. And as a result, people was on the platform. And I just think at this point, we just have more sellers than we have buyers. Let's see. Mercari's on fire these days. It just requires a lot of work to keep listings fresh. Now, do you need to keep the thing with this? Do you need to keep on like sharing your closet like you would do with Poshmark? Let me know in the chat. I'm not familiar with Mercari, but when you say keep your listings fresh, do you mean like you need to keep updating it, or is there like a share feature with that as well? Becky Shep, what was your worst selling experience? That's a really good one. So when it comes to my worst selling experience, I can't really think of any off the top of my head. I had a lot of people that tried to scam me. I lost some money. Thankfully, it wasn't a ton of money. Like, thankfully, at that point, it was a lot of like $30 items that I would ship out, and they would ship it back worn, or they'd ship it back damaged, and I would have to try to file a complaint with eBay. I don't necessarily have a ton of bad selling experiences, thankfully. Buying experiences on Poshmark, though, they just keep racking up. I don't even try to share all of them online because I just feel like I'll be continuously bashing Poshmark and like deterring people from the app. But I had a lot more bad and negative buying experiences on Poshmark than I've had selling experiences. I've had like maybe 10 or 12 bad Poshmark buying experiences in total, and maybe bad selling experiences, maybe 3, just somebody trying to scam me. But those type of stuff is unavoidable. The more that I think about it, the worst selling experience was when I got suspended on eBay for, and I think it was like 30 days where I couldn't list anything new. And this basically happened because I got a Vero strike. And for those that don't know what Vero is, basically Vero is this entire list on eBay of brands that you can't sell. And on that list, there's tons of brands that we sell on a daily basis. But with the Vero list, it's some brands that you can't sell that are not on that list. And there's some brands on the list that you can still sell and you'll be just fine. So basically what happened is the fact that I think it was like 2 items back to back that I got flagged on. It was a jersey that I believe it was a real jersey, but I got flagged for it being fake. So I took that jersey down, but I already had that one strike. And then it was just an item. I feel like it was like a facial cleanser that I wasn't allowed to sell. And I believe the brand asked eBay to take it down. So with those 2 things happening within like 30 days, I got suspended and I couldn't list anything new. So in terms of bad experiences, that's probably the worst that it got. But I mean, thankfully, I just learned from those mistakes. When it comes to selling jerseys, I just try. If I even have the slightest bit of doubt, I don't list it. I don't even buy it. If I see something that looks slightly off to me or it's questionable, I don't even waste my time. Now let's see. Are golf apparel items still selling well? Golf shoes are selling like crazy. Honestly, when it comes to golf clothing, I'm not thrifting as often as I used to. So I'm not even picking up golf shirts like that. The big thing is too, since I'm in Arizona now, those same shirts that I was spending $2 for in California, they're like $9 and $10 now, because that's like the wardrobe out here. Everybody's wearing these Under Armour polo shirts, these like the FootJoy polo shirts. Everybody wears those on a normal basis. So people in the thrift stores know that it's popular, so you can't really get it for a good deal. But I know they're still selling well because golf shoes are selling well. So if the shoes are selling, clearly the polo shirts are doing well too. Let's see, Junior. This is Junior the 13. Huge fan. Quick question. How do you ship shoes with USPS if they don't fit in a padded flat rate envelope? I just did a video on this not too long ago. I use Pirate Ship for items that can't fit in the padded flat rate envelope. I usually stick to shoes that say like sizes 5 to about size 10 usually would fit in a padded flat rate. If it's a bigger shoe, I usually would ship it via Pirate Ship. So I got a whole video based on that. So you can just check it in the, it's definitely, I referenced it in my last 2 videos. So you should be able to find it on the channel really easily. Like just a quick like tutorial about Pirate Ship. Oh, we got a $1.99 super sticker from Tom Harrington. Thank you very much. Definitely appreciate that. Poshmark has home and small appliances. Yeah, Poshmark definitely opened a ton of the categories. I'm glad they don't just focus on clothing and shoes. But the thing with Poshmark now is I think they kind of have to market that more. They have to let people know that you can get more than just clothing on the app. I think that's probably what they need to push a little more. How do you share your closet? I don't understand. With Poshmark, there's like this recycling, almost like a recycling button. It's literally just 2 arrows, and you share. And once you click that, you can either share it to a party or you can share it to your followers. And in order to get your items to the top of the search, you just have to share it. But of course, you're competing with everybody else that's sharing. So of course, you just have to share it as often as possible. Most profitable find. So I got a lot of most profitable finds. I had one find in particular. It's a pair of Viberg boots. It's like hiking boots. They were very, very high quality. They were super heavy. No lie, these boots were probably 10 pounds. Both of them were probably 10 pounds, at least 10 pounds. And I got those in San Francisco. And just a quick story with those boots. I was thrifting in San Francisco, and it was one of the more the more affluent areas in San Francisco. And it was at a Goodwill. And I was there for maybe 20, 30 minutes, bought a bunch of stuff, was heading my way out. And then I came back to help my wife with her stuff to put it in the car. And one of the workers literally just put the boots down. And as he put the boots down, they just looked like, not to say that it looked expensive, but it looked like high quality. So I instantly grabbed the shoes, and they had like these big chunky red laces. And I'm looking at it, and they looked like they were barely worn. So I grabbed them up, did the research on my phone really quickly, and I seen that they were selling anywhere between like $400 and as high as like $700. Brand new, they were selling for like $600-700. So I grabbed those up, and they sold for I believe they sold for $450 within about 2 weeks of listing them. So if you guys are ever in the thrift, this is the name of those boots. Viberg boots. Anytime I'm out and I'm like searching for boots and searching for shoes, that's one of those brands that I'm always looking for. Other profitable items right now, I sell a lot of brand new items. I'm doing a lot of retail arbitrage. So one of the most profitable items sometimes is one shoe, but I might have 100 pairs. And the first time that I really got into bulk buying to that level was these pairs of Adidas Anikis, and they was like red and white, and then I had another set that was blue and white, and I spent like $20 on them, and they all sold for at least $70. Call it $65 to $70, and in profit I made closer to like $2,000 in profit, and I think I bought maybe 50 pairs. So since then, that was like my biggest one at that point. Since then, I think I had a little more other profitable items that was very similar to that, because I've been selling those Adidas skate sneakers for like $70, and we bought them for like 20. So same type of profit margins, but I just had way more pairs of those skate shoes. So it just depends on, you know, the deal. If you can afford to buy in bulk. It took me a while until I was able to afford to buy in bulk and take that risk. But since then, you know, the business grew and trying to take advantage of those type of stuff. Let's see. Mercari has no sharing. In order to bump your listings in the feed, you have to keep discounting your items. I take down and relist my listings pretty regularly to keep them at the top of the search. Okay. I don't want to have to keep dropping my price, because I know on eBay, a lot of people do that as well. They try to keep dropping their prices, especially with Poshmark. I know people, they would start their prices at an exorbitantly high price, like extremely high. That way somebody can like it, and then they'll send them like a 90% off deal, and makes the buyer feel like they got a good deal. For me, I try to price my items to sell. That way, if a buyer actually is interested in them, once they see them, they're not distracted by the price, and they're not like, you know, wary about the price. They see it, it's a good price, they usually buy it. My thing is, I just know I need to share my closet more to get it in front of people. Let's see. There are USPS boxes for shoes. Absolutely. It's called a USPS shoe box. I usually use those for Poshmark orders. Like I said, now I do a lot of stuff for I ship a lot of shoes via pirate ship. So sometimes I might use the shoe box for pirate ship, but I always have to put that in a bag. That's the cheapest way to ship it. If you ship it regularly without putting it in a bag, you'll be spending more money. Do you plan to resell forever, or do you want to save up to expand into bigger projects? Example, real estate. Absolutely. That's the plan. I feel like I will always resell to a certain degree. I've been reselling probably since 2008, when I was really into sneakers. I would buy sneakers, sell them, and just literally, just so I can keep up with the new stuff, I would sell my old stuff. So I've always been into reselling. I just kind of focused in on it over these past 3 years, because I didn't want to work a regular job anymore. So I just tried to focus on the skills that I already had. But I'll probably always resell to a certain degree, but I definitely won't be doing this full time forever. The next step is probably going to be selling, probably flipping houses, or, you know, probably something else, something entrepreneurial. And if you guys follow the channel, you guys know that I've been interviewing entrepreneurs, not just resellers, but people that are in different industries, just picking their brain about certain stuff, really getting inspiration and motivation for myself to make me think outside of the box, because I know I'm not going to be doing this forever. There's not going to be a point where I'll be 50 years old, running to the thrift stores, running to Ross, trying to flip stuff. I'll probably do that for fun, But for a main like source of income, I know this isn't sustainable for me to stay interested. I'm one of those people. I'll give it 110% for a few years, then I'll move on just for a new challenge. Let's see. What kind of blockers do you block? What kind of buyers do you block? This is a really good question. On Poshmark, I don't necessarily block a ton of people because I know a lot of people that check out my Poshmark Closet are usually viewers. In the very beginning, I used to get a lot of like just goofy offers, and it will be literally a $200 pair of shoes, and they'll send me an offer as low as they can send, maybe 25, 30 bucks. Those people would get blocked. I'm not engaging with that. Those people would get blocked. On eBay, I block people that send like messages and like it just seems like they're not really interested in the sale, and they might not even be scammers, but they literally just like send a ton of messages. I've learned just from experience, the people that ask 1,000,001 questions about a particular item, it usually ends up in a return. Now, I'm not going to say that's always the case, but it usually does happen. So a lot of times I block those type of people because just from prior experiences, it just doesn't do well for me. But people that send lowball offers usually get blocked. People that send stupid messages usually get blocked. My block list on eBay is pretty big at this point because I've been doing this for a while. But those are usually the type of buyers that get blocked. I'm not gonna say I block them all the time, but it definitely does happen. Let's see. I think that's all the questions we had. Let me jump into the questions that I had from previous videos. Now, Tina White asked, "Aren't you concerned that the shoes arrive misshaped when shipped in a padded flat rate envelope?" Now, with the padded flat rate envelope, like I was telling you guys earlier, I try my best just not to squeeze the shoes into the bag and try to damage it. The whole purpose of shipping in a padded flat rate envelope is to save money, but at the same time, you don't want the buyer to receive the shoes and they're damaged or they're creased up and they're in worse condition. So that's why I always stick to between size 5, sometimes as high as size 10, maybe 10 and a half could fit in there. I've fit like some size 13 sandals in a padded flat rate envelope, but those were a little more flexible. But I just try not to squeeze the shoes in there. And if it can't fit in a padded flat rate, then I usually ship via pirate ship. And like I said, I got a video on pirate ship. I'll probably put it in the description of this live video so you guys can check that out, because I know a lot of people aren't necessarily familiar with pirate ship. And for those that are familiar with it, I just know I do a little more stuff to save some more money. So you can definitely check that out too. Let's see. Came in late. Have you discussed the new managed payments on eBay? Your feelings on this? Yes, I definitely discussed that. Maybe about 10 minutes ago. I actually opened the show with that, and I was actually the question that you asked. So my feelings on it, I'm definitely excited for it. I'm glad that we'll be breaking away from PayPal, because one thing in particular that was kind of weird. Not too long ago, I had a buyer that, of course, sent a payment. They basically ordered the jersey. The jersey, I guess, was being shipped to them via like a third-party shipping program. And they immediately opened up a case on eBay, and then they also opened up a case on PayPal. Now, thankfully, the buyer received the item. I guess it was just slow shipping on the shipping company's part. It was just slow shipping. But it's one of those things where it's like, there should be no reason why I need to call eBay to handle a problem, then also call PayPal to handle a problem. And so I'm kind of glad that, it's going to be all under one roof. The downside that I know a lot of other people were talking about, some people are a little wary of giving eBay your bank account information. And I 100% agree with that, because when it comes to the money and the finances, you just want to have access to it, and you don't want everybody to have access to it as well. You don't want to have too many companies having access. The good thing for me is that I have a business account and a personal account. So of course, the account that's going to be associated with eBay is just going to be the business account. So hopefully that will kind of, alleviate some of the risks that could be involved. But at the same time, I just think it was a matter of time until eBay kind of fixed up their managed payments and just, made it a simpler process for buyers, made it a simpler process for sellers. And at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure you'll still be able to use PayPal. Like a buyer would still be able to use PayPal. So I don't think too much is going to change. I just think hopefully as long as they've done everything right, we should be saving some money on fees and just having a better experience with eBay. The other really good thing that I do like is the fact that in the very beginning, a lot of people were complaining about global shipping program orders not being able to get processed via the eBay managed payments, and that's something else that they fix. So I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, if you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. We are going to be answering questions. As long as y'all got questions, your boy got answers. Let's keep going. One downside I heard with the new eBay fee schedule is a charge per item rather than per transaction. For people that sell multiple items per transaction, there will be multiple charges. Oh wow, I didn't hear about that one. I don't necessarily sell a ton of items to one seller. Like sometimes to one buyer, sometimes that might happen. It happened to me a couple of days ago. I sold 6 games brand new and sealed to one person. So, and I'm pretty sure they were actually buying them. They were probably sourcing them from me to sell on Amazon, because I've seen that they sell for a lot more money on Amazon brand new. So in that particular case, I probably would have been affected. But for the typical everyday eBay seller, especially the hobbyist seller, I don't think that's going to affect us too badly. But we'll see in the long run, because stuff like that might even change as well. Let's see, thoughts on sourcing on Facebook Marketplace. I think it's a great place to source. Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Let Go, all of those type of platforms is a really good way to source. I don't do it as often as I probably should, because I buy everything with credit. I buy everything with credit cards, and I usually pay my credit at the end. I pay my bill off at the end of the month in full. That way I'm not paying any interest rates and stuff like that. So, but when you're doing local deals and you're buying stuff from people on Facebook Marketplace, it's usually just cash. You know what I mean? Or you might be able to do like Zelle or something, but it's still cash, debit card type of stuff. So I don't do it as often as I probably should. I'm just one of those people that leverage credit in order to, grow the business. So I'm probably going to do another video just on like how to leverage your credit and grow your business with credit cards. Because I remember when I first started out, my credit limit was like $3,000, and I was doing all right. But as the business grew and as I got better, now my credit limit, I got like a $30,000 credit limit. So I'm going to probably do a video on how to leverage your credit, especially for new resellers that are just trying to get into the game, because I think that could be a game changer. Let's see. Have you thought about doing drop shipping? No, I'm definitely not a fan of drop shipping, especially this day and age where shipping is so slow. I think when it comes to shipping items nowadays, depending on where it's going and depending where it's coming from, I know a lot of, especially with the whole, quarantine, lockdown, all of this stuff, some shipping has gotten delayed, sometimes 2, 3, 4 weeks. So having to deal with that, especially if I was like a drop shipper in this day and age, business would probably be terrible, because people want their items and they want it now and they want it as fast as possible. And when you're drop shipping, you just don't have that much control on the order. You know what I mean? You're not really sure about the condition that it's going to be in. You're not sure how long it's going to take. And for me, I feel like drop shipping, I'm not going to say it's not a bad business. It's a bad business model. I think it has potential and some people do really well at it. But I think you just have to be really, really on top of things, because as a drop shipper, you don't hold inventory. So you have to constantly manage other platforms and make sure that they're fully stocked. So with all that being said, for me, it's not enough. I won't have enough control over my inventory and over my business as a drop shipper. So there's a lot of downsides. There's some positives as well, but for me, the cons outweigh the pros, so I don't mess with it. Let's see. Hello there. I have been following you and I'm new to this. I have $250 to start with and wanted to know which items to start with. This is make it or break it for me. Thanks. You put a lot of pressure on me. You're saying it's make it or break it. God damn. So if I was you and I had $250 to start, I would probably start with thrift stores. That way I can try to get a wide variety of items and try to just, flip it that way. The big tip that I would have for you though is to just invest your profit. If you have 250 and you make $10 on one flip, you don't spend that $10. The biggest thing is just to make sure that you constantly reinvest that money. A lot of the videos that I'm putting out now, and I'm sharing the what sold videos, and I made that like that $1,000 sales day. Those are huge days, the big profit margins, all those type of stuff. But I'm not really touching that money. As soon as it comes in, it's going right back out because I want the business to have some longevity. You know what I mean? So that's one big tip. I can't tell you exactly what to buy because this day, like right now, you can't necessarily buy one particular item and then flip it right away. But I would probably start with thrift stores where you can get something really cheap and then just take your time. You know what I mean? You want the snowball effect. So you want to just build up small profits until it gradually grows. And once you make that profit, put it right back into the business. Darren Russell, question about Poshmark. Just found a great way to offer a discount without having to include a shipping discount. Do you ever use the switch to sell view on Poshmark? No, I actually don't. I don't use any of the cool tricks that people use. I know there's a lot of people on Poshmark and they're killing it. Like they are putting. It's this one woman, I don't remember her name, but she did like $1 million in sales on Poshmark. So she's killing the game. There's a lot of people that's really doing well. I don't use a lot of the fancy bells and whistles and tricks. I literally just try to sell stuff that I know people want, and I try to share my closet often. Now, this tip is probably dope, and it probably will be a game changer. So I'm gonna have to look into this switch to sell view tool. I think it might be really good, but honestly, all I do is I just try to let the product speak for itself. You know what I mean? And I don't even try to do these type of tricks that make buyers feel like they're getting a deal. I put my prices up, and the price is the price. And I sometimes accept offers as long as they're close to my price range, but that's as far as it goes for me. That's probably why I'm not killing it on Poshmark anymore, because everybody else is probably lapping me with their tricks, and I'm like the old dog trying to do something new. So I probably got some stuff to learn myself. What arbitrage sites would you recommend? I don't really do too much online arbitrage. I do a lot of I go to a lot of stores. I do retail arbitrage. So I go to Ross, Burlington, Marshalls, all the outlets, and I do a lot of sourcing like that. The one tip that I do have is going to like the eBay Adidas store or the eBay. That's the only one I can think of. But the eBay Adidas store usually has some really good deals on there. As long as you're quick with it, because of course tons of other people source there too. So the downside to that is, of course, you got to be really quick. But the other downside is that everybody else has access to it as well. So it's like super competitive. Sometimes the items take very long to sell, but I usually would buy maybe 5, 10, sometimes 20 pairs of shoes from the Adidas eBay store, and I'll just hold it for 2-3 months. Wait until the eBay store is completely sold out. Now I'll start to sell my price. Then my shoes will start to sell. That's when I realize it's sold out on the Adidas eBay store, when I start to make sales. With only 250, I would do garage sales. Yeah, like I would definitely do garage sales too. The reason why I didn't say garage sales now is because I know with the whole lockdown, a lot of people probably aren't even doing garage sales. People probably are trying to still do the social distancing. So that's why I didn't suggest it, but definitely go ahead and do that. And then my man says, and lowball people. You could definitely lowball people and make some profit. It's sad to say, but right now there's some people that are very in need of cash. So if you bring the cash to them and this might be a lowball offer, they might take it. You know what I mean? So just try. It's on them to accept it at the end of the day. Let's see. The best thing Antonio Robinson can do is to start selling things out of his personal closet first. Absolutely. To me, that's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? If you got 250, I tell people that all the time. If you don't even need money to start in this business. You could definitely just start with the stuff in your own closet. I just feel like I say that all the time, so I didn't want to just say that again. But since he says he has some cash, I would say, start small, start in the thrift, start in garage sales. But absolutely just start with the stuff in your closet. To this day, I still sell things in my closet. If I'm not wearing it, if I wore it a while and I'm kind of over it, sometimes I may have bought it brand new and I didn't get to it yet. I list it and sell it. That's the best way to do it. That way there's no initial investment and you're not losing anything. But like I said, if you got 250 and you want to start with some cash and you don't have anything to sell, that's your own personal stuff, hit up a garage sale, hit up a thrift, and just reinvest your profits. Keep sending those questions. I think I got a couple left that I saved for today's video, but this is probably going to be this is probably how I'm going to continue doing them from now on. Let's see. So this one is a very long question that I got. I'll summarize it for you guys really quickly. Long story short, one seller in particular, they basically sold something on Poshmark. They put the wrong label on it, and it went to it basically went to the wrong person. So it was 2 different packages sent to the wrong person, and when they returned it, I think on Poshmark they said it was 3 items that they had, and they returned only 2. And they said, what should they do about that? Now, for me, I don't necessarily know how you can actually fix that. I think the best advice, and I spoke about this in a previous live show, just take your time when you're shipping. I know sometimes we could be pressed for time, we're in a rush, but for me in particular, when it comes to shipping, I'd like to take my time with it, because that's one of the most important parts of it. You have to get the item out to the buyer in a good amount of time, but you got to make sure that the buyer gets the item in a really good condition, and it's what they ordered. You know what I mean? So I don't try to do too much bulk shipping and all these type of stuff. I just try to make sure that the item, the right label is on there. So the first things first, I tell people all the time, especially if you're brand new, take your time with shipping. You might even want to write something on the label so that you know for a fact that this package goes with this label, because stuff like this is going to happen. It happened to me once. The good thing, it didn't necessarily where it went to the wrong person. I went to the post office and I just didn't even put a label on it. And thankfully, the people at the post office knew it was mine and they held it for me. So I got away with that. I got lucky. But these type of stuff happen. So the best advice I would have for this particular person or anybody that's watching: 1, take your time with shipping, and 2, you gotta have almost like a budget set aside just about every month for miscellaneous stuff, because you're going to take losses, whether it's going to be bad returns, whether it's going to be a canceled order and you're going to still have to pay the PayPal fees. You got to budget for those type of stuff and just chalk it up as cost of business, because it happens and there's no real way to avoid these type of mistakes. So hopefully that question came from Amanda Belair. So hopefully, that'll help her. But these type of stuff happen. You know what I mean? There's no way around it. Ooh, thank you very much. I needed that. Shout out to the wife. All right, so we got another question here. Went to Ross, but there were not many good deals. I live in Virginia, and Ross and Marshalls just opened. Any other alternatives besides these stores? So of course, if you know Ross and Marshalls, Burlington, TJ Maxx, Big 5 Sporting Goods, sometimes they have some really good deals. And it's another store that sells sporting goods. I don't remember the name. If anybody remembers the name of the store, it's like a sporting, I think it's called like Premier or Prime or something like that. But some of those stores, you can get some really good deals. And just locally, you know what I mean? You could just pull up to, sometimes go to Foot Locker or go to a Finish Line, and they have those tables where they have certain shoes that's way cheaper. It's like deeply discounted, and they're just trying to get rid of it. Sometimes you can go to you go to a mall and you can get a really good deal there as well. So you just got to exhaust all your options. Just think of any store that you would usually go to that might have something on clearance. Walmart is always good. Target is always good. You can always just try to find a clearance deal. Let's see. Stocking up on winter inventory. A lot of people overlook winter clothes during summertime. Absolutely. If I can find any winter stuff now, I would just tell my wife this. If I can find like coats and jackets at a good deal now, I'm definitely stocking up, because a lot of the skirts that are selling now, a lot of the shorts that are selling now, I bought those like 5 or 6 months ago, and now they're selling. So the same thing when it comes to reselling, you got to think ahead, sometimes 5-6 months ahead. If you asked me this last year I was saying 2 to 3 months ahead, but now I'm thinking even longer term than that, because you got to stock up when you find a deal. You got to take advantage of it, because great deals don't always just fall in your lap. So even though it might be a sacrifice in the beginning, if you can, grab up those winter stuff for sure. Winter boots, socks, all those hats, everything. Let's see. People don't want to donate, but stores are not accepting. People want to donate, but stores are not accepting donations. If you get a truck, people will give you free stuff right now that you can resell. That's a really good idea. I've been seeing a lot of like those neighborhood like scrap pickers, like the pallet people that pick up like junk on the street, and their trucks are always full. Sometimes it might be a whole fridge and a fridge, a stove, a bike. So the thing is, if you got a truck, you can definitely do those type of things. For me, it's a little too much manual labor. I'm not gonna lie. If I had a crew of people, I'll probably do something like that. But for me, I'm not gonna do that. And I know my wife ain't about to be grabbing up no fridge and throwing it on her back. We not about to do that. We not about to do that. Let's see. Rajan, I live in Virginia too. I can't believe how bad our Ross and Marshalls are. There's never anything good. That's the thing, man. Sometimes you gotta like Ross and Marshalls in California was terrible for me, so I never used to source there. The ones out here are really good, so I'm just taking advantage of it. But the one big thing that I realized with reselling since we've moved around, every city has its gems. Every city has its opportunities that people don't necessarily think of. So there might be somebody, like you said, in Virginia that wants to sell shoes, but there's no good shoes. But you guys might have the perfect connection for selling mugs. You know what I mean? Like you just gotta find what's the best opportunity for you. That way you can funnel those profits from selling whatever you're not interested in into selling the stuff that you're interested in. You just gotta think outside the box, man. Yes, Academy. That's the name of that store. Academy is the other store I was saying that people find some good deals in. That's the sports store, Academy. Wait or sell on the Flint 13s. Grade school, I'm definitely gonna wait on those. The Flint 13s is I know it's a popular shoe. I know it's sold out on Nike Sneakers app, but I think it's gonna be hitting the outlets. I don't think it's gonna be flipping for crazy money because before people wasn't necessarily interested in Flints. Now people want the Flints because it's been some time in between. But I honestly do think, especially during this point in time where so many stores are closed and they weren't able to sell a lot of Jordans, they're gonna hit the outlets. They might not hit outlets immediately. They might sit in stores for a while. It might be like a delayed type of thing. But I definitely think a lot of the releases that we're seeing now, they're gonna end up in the outlets. So I would wait until we get them for an additional 20, maybe 30% off, and just wait. Let's see. I'm stocking up on toys for fourth quarter. I'm gonna be ready for this year. That's the goal. Fourth quarter is where you need to focus all your time and energy because as of right now, people are selling stuff, and like right now, I feel like sales are being made. As you guys can see, I'm still selling a good amount of things on a daily basis, but there's still a huge population of people that are not buying anything right now. People are unemployed. People are, nervous about the future. But fourth quarter is usually when people are a lot more generous and a lot more free flowing with cash. Even if they don't have the cash, credit is usually at an all-time high during fourth quarter because most people are buying stuff that they can't afford to impress people they don't even like. So you got to take advantage of it. As a seller, you got to have your items on deck. You got to have your stuff ready and prepared for when people are buying like crazy. So you just got to be prepared, stock up on your toys. I might even sell toys this year because I know toys do well. About the refrigerator, yeah, we ain't picking those up. Do you ever go to Zappos? I've worked with Zappos as a social media influencer, but I never went on their site and bought anything because their prices are just a little too expensive for me. And I don't really see any good deals on there, but I might check out Zappos as an online arbitrage, but I haven't done any business there yet. If you're looking for good items, go to a Goodwill in a rich county. That's a really good tip. I always tell people, go to the suburbs. Go to kind of, you got to travel sometimes. You might have to travel maybe 45 minutes to an hour and a half outside of your area if the Goodwills aren't as good. You just got to go to where people with money are because people with money donate amazing things. I lived in Santa Barbara for, what was it, two years? And the type of stuff that I would find on a daily basis, just clothing wise, was insane. Patagonia every single day, Lululemon every day, brands that I never knew about I would find because those people were buying amazing stuff, wear it one time and donate it. So if you can, take the trip and just travel, maybe an hour, sometimes an hour away, and you will definitely find some good stuff. I think that's all the questions that we got. This was definitely a really good live show, so I appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be doing these live shows every Thursday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If I can't do it, I'm going to let you know in a previous video. If I can't do it, I'll let you guys know, but I'm not trying to make no excuses. Even if it's a short live show, I'm going to make sure I stick to it. So definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace.